Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at the new content that's available for us in patch 196. Mainly, we're going to talk about the new Tavern expansion, and also we're also going to touch upon the new treasure hunters event that's also available now in the test server. So, here we go. As you can see now, the tavern is divided into two parts. You have the tavern bounty, which is the section that you're used to up to this point, but also now we have this tavern expedition. So what this is like you have these extra quests that you can now send your heroes for, and the number of chances that you have per day will depend on this level. I think it does depend on this level. The way you increase this level is by beating something called a golem. Now what's a golem? So now if you look at this part right here, you have this kind of monster, which is basically a boss, right? Just like any guild boss that you have, any other boss that you encounter in the game, this is just like that. You have to beat it to then gain these rewards. Now I've already beaten the first boss, and the first boss only costs one of these things. These things are called proofs of triumph, I think. Yeah, so depending on this requirement, well, only if you have this certain number of these will you then be able to challenge this boss. The first boss only required you to have one of these, but the next one requires you to have 16. So we will see how we can acquire more of these. But the thing is, this is what allows you to increase your fame level, and even for the first boss it was about 100, and then that's how I managed to increase it to level 2. And the thing is, once you manage to do this, and the more you increase your fame level, you'll be able to unlock more areas, meaning you'll be able to unlock more quests, and you should be able to get greater rewards. And the more you increase your fame level, the requirement of the campaign level that you should have crossed will also increase. I think it was about 24 or 25 when it was fame level 1, but now it's gone up to 26. And that should keep going up as I go to higher fame levels. And also the number of recommended heroes will also increase the more you increase your fame level. And you will also see that each of these golems have a frenzy skill. Now this is the dangerous skill of the boss, right? So for example, here you can see that your units here, the enemy units are referring to your heroes. You can't heal them, right? Because if this is active, then the boss will deal high level of damage and will also reduce the damage that it takes. So in order to cancel the skill, in order to switch this off, you need to use at least one of the recommended heroes, right? In my case, there are quite a few, and I pretty much use Angela, Nana, Kagura for a lot of bosses that I fight against, so that's very useful. And so I pretty much used Angela, Kagura, Nana, and then Lunox and Carry for my first boss fight, first golem fight I should say. But basically you need that to be able to then cancel out the frenzy skill and clear the boss quite comfortably. There are also other skills that the boss has, but these are not as threatening as the frenzy skill, right? So these are the rewards that you get. This one is very important, the rune stone, and I will tell you exactly what this helps you do. Here it talks about leveling up the world tree. Now this is very important, and when I show you what the world tree is in the holy sanctuary, you will be able to understand exactly why this is an important piece of equipment. There are also these sort of tokens, right? And it tells you redeem materials at the tavern shop, and that is another new feature that's available for us in this new update. which I will show you in just a second. Alright, here we go. So there's this new tavern shop that's available, just like all the other shops that are there in the game already. And as you can see, there are 5 new heroes that are in the shop, and I must say, really good heroes as well. Like Kagura, Rorex, Bogdamus, Wanwan, all of these heroes are amazing heroes, no doubt about it. Especially Wanwan, wow. For her to be a shop hero now is going to be a huge thing. Right, and this one is something again that you will be using to upgrade a part of the world tree. I will tell you why this may not be as useful as the other items in the world tree in just a second. It tells you about something called a soul root in the world tree, and it is good, but after some point in the game, upgrading the soul root may not be that useful, and I'll tell you exactly why when I get to that part. And of course, you also have these meteor packs, which is a really good thing, because till now the main source of getting these soul meteor packs have been through the dungeon shop, the brawl shop, or you'd have to spend diamonds to get it. Now this gives you an additional area where you can acquire them, and that is a good thing, especially because going from soul vessel 20 to soul vessel 30 for any hero can be a really long and hard process, because they're quite rare and hard to get. So this will definitely be a good thing in terms of upgrading soul vessels for all your heroes. Alright, and you can see the refresh requirement again is similar to the dungeon shop. If you plan on refreshing it, you'll have to spend 1,000 diamonds, which I'm definitely not going to do, but just FYI. And again, these quests have these alphabets like B, and the two that I completed were both A. You can see clearly here that these are actually ranks of those bounties, and the higher the rank, like SS is the highest, then S, then A, and then B. The higher the rank, the greater the reward. And also I must mention that in the tavern bounty section you also get this little new thing apart from the usual essence, coins, diamonds, etc., and that is related to the treasure hunters event. I will show you exactly what that's about and what items you require in that event in order to unlock great rewards. But this is one little thing which tells you this is a common treasure map fragment and an uncommon treasure map fragment. Just keep these things in mind for now, which I will explain it in detail when we get into the treasure hunters event. So this is the new holy sanctuary. It's divided into 2 parts now. One is the Monument of Dawn, which is the regular version that you would have already seen by now, and the other one is the world tree. And this is actually pretty cool because it gives you quite a few bonuses in terms of your heroes, in terms of the items you can acquire, and so on. Right, so the main 3 things that I want to talk about in the world tree, 1 being the soul root, 2 being soul linking, and then finally I'm going to talk about soul awakening. Now let's go into soul root first. So in the soul root, right, this is what you need those items for. You can see here that this is called an aureate runestone, and you can get it from the tavern shop as you saw it there. What this does is, as you upgrade the level of this, the idle rewards that you get are boosted up. For me, this one is not the most important one, although it is important to an extent, but there are other more important parts of the world tree which I want to talk about right now. So the next one is soul linking. This is pretty cool. And so just before I get into that, for these 2 things, soul linking and soul awakening, it's all about these different nodes that you see in the world tree. Going all the way up, you have 18 right here. That's the final point. And you will notice here that each of these nodes either represent a plant or an animal. Now what does that mean? What is the difference between these two? Is there a difference? Yes, there is. So what do you need to know in terms of upgrading each of these things? Now, the first thing that I want to tell you is that anything, any node that you see which represents an animal connects to soul linking, and anything that you see that represents a plant, it is connected to soul awakening, right? So let's talk about soul linking first. Now here you can see that animal emblem nodes are required for you to activate soul linking. Now, so what is soul linking, right? So you can take a look at this for a better understanding of it. So what it tells you, like briefly, is that if you activate soul linking for a certain hero, their type, right, the type associated with the hero that you activated soul linking for will modify to something like this. So what does this mean? So that where this is important is that when you have a lineup and you have a hero with an emblem that looks like this, it means that in that lineup this hero's type will behave like the order type, right? And we know that order type heroes can form resonance with any other type, right? And the additional thing about soul linking is that if the hero for which soul linking is activated is order type already, or order or chaos already, and they're in the lineup, for every order or chaos hero that has the soul linking activated will increase all the allies' HP and attack by 2%. And you can see that this can be stacked. So if you had like 3, 4, 5 order or chaos heroes with all of them having their soul linking activated, then that means this percentage will be like up to 10%. So that's a 10% boost in all the allies' HP and all the allies' attack, which will make your team a lot stronger. So that is another thing to note. Now in my case, I've activated the first 2 nodes, and another thing that you have to know is you can't directly go to the 4th or 5th node and decide to activate. You have to go from the bottom right to the top in the same order. So as you can see here, I already activated the first 2 nodes of the world tree, and both of these are animal nodes, and because of this I managed to activate soul linking for 2 of my heroes. So in order to understand exactly what this means, I can show you my arena defense lineup. So you can see here that I have 3 dark heroes and an elemental hero and a tech hero. But because I've activated soul linking for both Valor and Angela, you can see that the icons are slightly different from the normal elemental and tech icons. And because I've activated soul linking for these 2 heroes, they are acting as order type heroes in terms of the resonance. Now usually you'd see only 3 bars light up for the 3 dark heroes that I have, and nothing for the tech and elemental heroes. But because they're acting like order heroes, all 5 are activated. And what does that mean? Because all 5 are activated, it gives me 25% boost in HP and attack. Whereas before, when I had only 3 heroes of the same type contributing to the resonance, it was only a 10% boost in HP and a 15% boost in attack. So that is a significant difference thanks to soul linking, right? And you can see here it tells you linked heroes too because of Valor and Angela. So that is for soul linking. Now we can talk about soul awakening. Now for this you need the plant-based nodes. So this depends on the star level of the heroes, right? So based on which plant node that you activate, each of them corresponds to a particular star level. So the first one, the node number 3, will provide HP, attack, and defense boost for all heroes that are above 9 star, right? And as you go higher up the node tree, it will allow you to it will give you additional bonuses for heroes that are of higher levels, especially if you get from this point onwards. It's all awakened heroes that get bonuses, right? Each of them will give you 4% boost in attack, HP, and defense, all the way up to Iris, which is the final node in the world tree. As you can see here, that's pretty much all that it says right here. So that is for Soul Awakening, Soul Linking, and Soul Root. And even though Soul Root only gives you it increases the amount of these items that you get from idle rewards, some of the other nodes give you more than just Soul Linking and Soul Awakening. For example, this one, right? This tells you, well, this is Hero Exp again. This is equipment coins, right? Which is pretty okay. But if you look at this one, this will also give you a boost of dungeon coins every time you finish the dungeon. So, for example, if you are getting, say, around 500 dungeon coins every time you finish the dungeon up till now, if you have your if you have the fourth node activated, you get 15% more than that for the next dungeons that you clear. And you also have the same thing for nightmare coins, right? And this is the case for all of the nodes of the tree. There's always something more than just the Soul Linking and Soul Awakening parts. There's also additional boosts of rewards that you can acquire through idling or through different modes of the game, like dungeon, like guild coins, and so on. This is just a bonus overview. Basically tells you, gives you a summary of all the things that you've upgraded so far. So based on what I've upgraded so far, it's telling me that I'm receiving an increased amount of coins, an increased amount of hero exp, and an increased amount of equipment coins as well, and tells me the number of Soul Linking slots that I've activated. So that is for the world tree, which is a real nice concept. I really love the art that's been created for this section of the Holy Sanctuary, and it's really cool, and I'm really looking forward to activating all 18 nodes of this wonderful concept. We can now look at the treasure hunters event that I mentioned earlier, and these are the items that you need. Right, one is the common treasure map fragments, and the other is the uncommon ones. And you're going to need each of these in order to unlock each of the pieces that are on this particular map. When you do that, you'll be able to then get a lot of rewards. So what do I mean by unlocking and getting rewards, right? So these light colored ones require the common map fragments to activate them, and the darker ones need your uncommon ones. And so you can see here, right, you need 3, right? That's why it says 0 out of 3 for both of them. To activate one of them, right, just one of these rectangles, you need 3 of them. So since this is a common a common map piece, let's say, you need 3 to activate this one, and then you need 3 to activate this uncommon piece. And there is a certain pattern to which you can unlock them as well, because each of these have this each of these segments have the pattern, right? There's a pattern here, there's a pattern here, there's a pattern here, and a pattern here. When you unlock all the pieces in a pattern, you will be able to gain these totems, and by gaining those totems, you will then be able to draw rewards from this thing called the totem prize pool, and we'll look at that in just a second. Right, so there's also the ultimate reward, which you select from this thing called the mystical compass. And before I just get into that, let me just show you what the totem prize pool is all about. So you gain there's this thing called a surprise reward, right? We don't know exactly what that is, but this is the main thing. You unlock all the pieces that that correspond to a pattern on the map. When you do that, you unlock a totem. By unlocking a totem, you are able to get great rewards. That is for the totem prize pool, and the mystical compass is the one that is the alt reward that they refer to. Like if you look at this part right here in the tutorial, in the last section, it tells you something like you can choose a different ultimate reward, and this ultimate reward is the one that you choose here in the mystical compass. In my case, I chose the 20 sacred scrolls, but the other options are like this one is the Aureate runestone, which you can use to activate the soul root, which I don't really think is all that useful, but you might have a different opinion. And in terms of other heroes that are available, like you have these heroes from the 5 common types, and I am guessing that once you receive one of the ultimate rewards, you will then be able to unlock one of these Order Chaos heroes when you go for a second ultimate reward. And these are like really cool. I know Amaterasu is already in the dungeon shop, but Tia and Char, like, man, they're like amazing Order Chaos heroes, and definitely go for one of them if you get into the second part of the ultimate treasure. Alright, and these are like, you pretty much see these in a lot of the events, but for now I like to focus on Order Chaos heroes in these sort of events, and Sacred Scrolls are gonna help me do that, so that's why I chose that as my first ultimate reward. But yeah, that's the Treasure Hunters event. It looks like a difficult event, especially because of the requirement of the fragments. I think the common fragment seems pretty easy to get. In the tavern bounty that was ongoing in my tavern, in a few hours it should give me 11 of these, but only one of that. Now one of this is not going to be enough to unlock any of these pieces, but 11 of these should allow me to unlock should allow me to unlock three common pieces. But yeah, activating a totem, a golem totem, it would definitely need more of these, because it takes 3 of these just to unlock one of them, and I'm not sure if these are like that easy to obtain, right? Especially when you look at it, there's no like share option where you can get a free one or anything like that on a daily basis. So it's pretty much through bounties from the regular one on the expedition, and otherwise you have to go to the shop and buy some, which I'm definitely not going to do. So yeah, that's for the Treasure Hunters event. I hope it will give me the rewards that I'm going after, but otherwise it might end up just being a sort of a disappointing event. I get the feeling that it might be, but we will see. There's about 2 weeks to go for this event to conclude, so hopefully there will be some interesting things that happen during that time. But yeah, that is pretty much all there is to it in terms of the Treasure Hunters event, the new Tavern Expedition, upgrading the world tree for more rewards, more attribute bonuses for your heroes. And I hope you found this video useful as always. Thank you for watching.